I'm gonna fight Mike Tyson on Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
Has the drama between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson reached a boiling point, revealing more than just tactics and trash talk? Are we witnessing a genuine breakdown or a strategic maneuver in the boxing world? Let's find out. Jake Paul stands out, not just for his viral antics but also for the controversy he stirs within the boxing ring. He's known as the Problem Child, a title he's earned through a series of headline-grabbing stunts. But recently, things took a turn nobody expected. Jake Paul, amid the chaos of his online persona, found himself in a real pickle, the kind that hits hard both emotionally and financially. Here's where the story twists. Jake decided to face off against one of the most intimidating figures in the boxing world, Mike Tyson, famously known as the baddest man on the planet. Talk about a bold move, but this move seems to have backfired in a big way. Tyson, relentless as ever, has been on Paul's case, ensuring that the YouTube star feels every bit of pressure. Now, let's not forget about Iron Mike Tyson. Outside the ring, he's been as fierce with his words as he is with his punches, targeting Jake Paul with a series of verbal onslaughts. The latest, Tyson calling out Paul's supposed injury as nothing more than just an excuse to avoid their fight. The plot thickens with Jake Paul suddenly sporting a cast and bandages, hinting at a significant injury. He claims a gym accident led to a dislocated shoulder, putting their much-anticipated match in jeopardy. But then comes a twist that could rival any thriller. The revered worldweight champion Tyson steps up and labels Paul's injury claim a total sham, suggesting it's all an act to dodge the fight. In the midst of all the drama, a video popped up, putting a new spin on things. In it, Jake Paul gets real about how tough it's been going for him, talking about the sting of being misjudged and labeled a liar. This heart-to-heart seems to flip the script, pulling in a wave of support for Paul. Just like that, opinions start shifting, and now Tyson is under the microscope, seen by some as the villain for doubting Paul's sincerity. Online, the conversation is fiery. Social media is packed with people picking sides, hashtags flying left and right. What was once just a face-off in the ring has morphed into a full-blown saga filled with accusations and changing loyalties. Then, Tyson drops another bomb. In a clip, he's outright dismissing Paul's injury saga, calling out the casts and bandages as nothing more than a show. It's all fake, he claims, suggesting Paul is playing a game to sidestep their fight. This comes after Paul was everywhere in the media, flexing his training routine and looking ready for action, a far cry from the wounded figure he portrays now. Jake Paul didn't just hold back in an interview either. He talked up to the excitement of fighting a legend like Tyson, labeling it a dream come true. But then, the plot thickens with his sudden shoulder injury announcement right when the fight hype was at its peak. People are scratching their heads, wondering if Paul's timing is a bit too convenient. Tyson, ever the skeptic, calls out the inconsistencies in Paul's story. He points out to footage of Paul out bowling using the very arm he claims is too hurt for boxing. Who does that with a supposed injury? Tyson asks, suggesting Paul might be pulling a fast one to avoid the match. It's a tactic reminiscent of the legendary Pete Dargo's mind games, adding another layer of intrigue. Pete Dargo, for context, was a boxer who made waves in the ring with a record reflecting a mix of victories, including 5 knockouts. His fight against Scott Smith, known for his robust stance and MMA prowess, was shrouded in controversy. Smith, with a fighting record that includes memorable knockouts, showcased his resilience in UFC, earning him the nickname the Comeback Kid for his unexpected victories, despite being on the brink of defeat. Their match was no different, filled with aggressive exchanges and deceptive maneuvers. Smith, apparently reeling from a hit by Dargo, seemed on the verge of collapse, clutching his ribs. Observers speculated whether Smith's display of pain was genuine or a clever ruse to throw Dargo off balance. It was a strategic act. It worked to Smith's advantage as he seized the moment, surprising Dargo. There was this memorable moment when Smith faced off against Cell. It was a fight that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Smith, dealing with immense pain from a hit to the body, garnered all his strength and landed a right hand on Cell that was so powerful even Joe Rogan was astounded. Following that dramatic knockout, Smith's career faced some ups and downs. He fell to the ground right after that punch, the pain overtaking him, and from there, things seemed to take a turn for the worse in his fighting career. He faced losses in his next 2 UFC fights against Patrick Cote and Ed Herman. Since that iconic fight in November 2006, Smith's record hasn't been the best, standing at 6 wins and 7 losses. Moreover, he's currently on a 3-fight losing streak in Strikeforce. Cell, on the other hand, also had a rocky journey post their fight. He returned to the UFC but didn't have the best run, winning only 1 out of 4 fights. Since the fight with Smith, he's had a a rough patch, but managed to secure a win by second-round submission in his first fight back after a 2-year hiatus. Switching gears to the boxing world, there's a story between Paul and Iron Mike Tyson. After the boxing match between Paul and Nate Diaz, Tyson, who had predicted Diaz would win, found himself on the wrong end of the outcome. Paul, not one to shy away from controversy, pointed out that Tyson had been throwing jabs in his way ever since. "He's been giving me comeback bouts since I won against Diaz. I bet he felt disappointed that he predicted wrong," Paul said, highlighting the ongoing tension. Nate Diaz, at 36, decided to step into the boxing ring against Paul despite being known more for his MMA skills than boxing. It was a bold move, especially since Diaz had no professional boxing fights under his belt. Jake Paul recently gave us a show unlike any other. He made an entrance that turned heads and set the stage for a showdown with Nate Diaz. Now, isn't that something? He rolled in on a tank, of all things, setting the tone for the battle ahead. Inside the ring, Diaz wasn't shy about playing the entertainer, taunting Paul, mocking his punches, and adding some drama to the spectacle. But despite his showboating, Diaz found himself on shaky legs, especially as the rounds dragged on. Now, think about this. Diaz, despite being known for his endurance, started to fade as Paul turned up the heat. Paul, seizing the moment, landed a hefty left hook, knocking Diaz down. This wasn't just another fight, it was a display of Paul's ability to capitalize when it mattered most. And let's not forget, this victory marked his third against a former UFC champion, having previously defeated Tyrone Woodley and Anderson Silva. But there's another twist in the tale. Post-fight discussions hinted at a rematch, but this time in the MMA arena. However, Paul's focus has shifted back to boxing, sparking speculation and a bit of disappointment among fans. And amidst all this, Mike Tyson's shadow looms large. Paul pointed out how Tyson, known for his mind games, seems to get whatever he wants. But let's dive deeper into Tyson's own battles. Rewind to February 26th, when Tyson faced off against British boxer Frank Bruno. What a fight that was. Bruno almost hit the deck before the fight had barely started, but he didn't just lie down and take it. He stood up and fought back, challenging Tyson's invincibility. But as history would have it, Tyson's power prevailed in the 5th round, reminding everyone why he's known as the baddest man on the planet. But Tyson's influence doesn't end in the boxing ring. Remember his foray into the WWE world? After a controversial exit from boxing, Tyson took on Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania thanks to Vince McMahon's $3.5 million offer. This crossover wasn't just a hit, it skyrocketed WWE ratings, mixing the worlds of wrestling and boxing in a way that had fans glued to their screens. Now, back to Jake Paul. He has been stirring the pot, especially with Tyson. The two have traded jabs outside the ring, with Paul calling out Tyson's criticism as part of a notorious video. It's a clash of titans from different generations, with each trying to outdo the other in the realm of public opinion. But let's not forget Paul's knockout against Tyrone Woodley. That overhand right that sent Woodley to the ground was more than just a punch, it was a statement. Paul's not just a YouTube star, he's a boxer to be taken seriously. But how does he stack up against a legend like Tyson? That's the million-dollar question. The clash between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has taken an unexpected turn, leaving us questioning the truth behind the tears and accusations. What do you think? Is Paul's injury real, or is Tyson right in his allegations? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this developing story.